Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Newberg High School's production of Julius Caesar. We're happy that you joined us tonight. Welcome to our quaint little theater space that we're going to fit 40 people on stage, so just enjoy that. My name is Mike McConaughey, and I'm the director of the theater program here, and I have with me some other folks who help direct this show, and I will let them introduce themselves and give you all kinds of valuable information as they do. And then we'll get started. So, go ahead.
All right. I'm Shauna Peterson, and I teach the junior Shakespeare class. Mr. McConaughey here teaches the senior class. So just so you know a little bit about how this all comes together, the Shakespeare classes work together to do pretty much everything for this show. They select the shows every year, and they come up with the concept. They audition within the class and then break off into committees to cover all the various aspects of the show. So everything that you have seen here tonight and all the marketing that you've seen was all created by students and directed kind of by them as well. So this show is just kind of extra special because it's kind of their show, not so much ours. So make sure to congratulate them and tell them what a wonderful job they did if you have any student family members. Oh, and also, the Shakespeare classes do a trip annually to Ashland, to the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is super fun, and we just went last month and had a great time seeing some shows and doing some Shakespeare workshops. And one of the cool things about that trip is that we're always able to offer scholarships to anybody who needs it, so that cost is never a barrier to anybody who wants to go. And if you would like to help with that, never fret. We have a way for you to help with that. Bailey's going to tell you about that.
I'm Bailey Winkler, and during intermission, you will be able to purchase cookies and water, and you can also vote with your money for your favorite character. And you can also buy telegrams, which are like cute little notes you can send back to the actors, and all of the money for that goes towards the scholarships for Ashland. As well, please make sure we have no food or drink in the auditorium except for water.
I'm Brianna Wilkinson, and I will be asking you to please turn your phones off and no flash photography, as it's very distracting to the actors. And if you need to exit at any time during the play, please use the center exit, but in case of emergencies, all exits are available.
All right. Well, like I said, welcome to our little space. I like this space because it allows us to teach a different style of theater than when we're all out there and they're all up here and separate. We're all right here and quite cozy. So sit back and enjoy the show tonight, and we hope that you will enjoy our version of
Julius Caesar. Hail Caesar!
It's wonderful architecture.
Down with Pompey! Hail Caesar!
Hey! Home, you idle creatures! Get you home! Is this a holiday? What? Know you not, being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? Speak, what trade art thou?
Why, sir, a carpenter.
Where is thy leather apron and thy wool? What dost thou with the best apparel on? You, sir, what trade are you?
Truly, sir, and respective of fine workmen, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
But what trade art thou? Answer me directly.
A trade, sir, that I hope it moves with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave? Thou naughty knave, what trade?
Oh, nay, sir, be not out with me. Yet, if you be out, I can mend you.
What meanest thou by mend him, thou saucy fellow?
Why, sir, cobble you.
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Truly, sir, all that I live by is with thee all. I meddle with no tradesmen's matters, nor women's matters. But, indeed, sir, I am a surgeon who will choose. When they are in grave danger, we cover them. As proper men ever went upon meats, leather, got upon my handiwork.
But wherefore not in thy shop today? Why dost thou leave these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. But, indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar, and to rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome to grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? You blocks your stones, you worse than senseless things. Oh, you hard heart to groom men of Rome! Knew you not Pompey?
Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers, to windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infant in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made a universal shout that the Tiber trembled beneath her banks to hear the replication of your sounds made in their concave shores? And do you now put on your best attire? Do you now call out a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Begone! Run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to inhibit this plague that sheds much light on this ingratitude.
Go, good countrymen, and for this fault, assemble all the poor men of your sort. Draw them to Tiber banks and weep your tears in the channel till the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. See, where their basest metal be not moved, they vanish, tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Go you down that way towards the capital, this way will I. Disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies.
May we do so? You know it is the feast of the Lupercal.
It is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. All about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness?
Calpurnia!
Peace, ho! Caesar speaks!
Calpurnia!
Here, my lord.
Stand you directly in Antonius's way as he doth run his course. Antonius,
Caesar, my lord.
forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia. For elders say the barren touched in this holy chase shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember. When Caesar says do this, it is performed.
Set on and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar!
Ha! Who calls?
Bid every noise be still, peace yet again!
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than that of all the music cry Caesar. Speak. Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me. Let me see his face.
Fellow, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you go and see the order of the course?
Not I.
I pray you do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack some of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness nor show of love as I have hoped to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed, I am of late with passions of some difference. Conceptions only proper to myself, which do give some soil perhaps to my behaviors, but let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one. Nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus with himself at war forgets the shows of love to other men.
Then I have much mistook your passions. By means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other thing.
'Tis just, and it is very much lamented, dear Brutus, that you have no such inner mirror as will turn your hidden worthiness into your own eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard tell where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning under this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus might have had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? That you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me.
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, shall modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus, for were I a common laughter, or did use to stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester? Or, if you know I do fawn on men and hug them hard, and after scandal them? Or, if you know that I do profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous.
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
I do fear it. Then must I think you would not have it so?
I would not. Yet I love him well, but wherefore do you hold me so long, Cassius? What would you impart to me? Now, if it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye, death in the other, and I'll look upon both indifferently, for let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I do know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. For once upon a wrong gusty day, the troubled Tiber, chafing with her shores, said Caesar to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, leap in with me into this angry flood, and swim to yonder point?" Accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it, throwing it aside with lusty sinews. But ere we could reach the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" Aye, as Ianus, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulders the old Anchises bear, so did I from the waves of Tiber the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god. He had a fever when we were in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. His coward lips did from their color fly, and that same eye whose bin doth awe the world did lose his luster. I did hear him groan. Aye, that tongue that bade the Romans mark him, and write his speeches in their books. Alas, it cried, "Give me drink, Titinius, as a sick girl." Ye gods, it doth amaze me that a man of such feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world, and bear the palm alone.
Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that have been heaped on Caesar.
Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at one time were the masters of their own fate. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should his name be sounded any more than yours? Write them together, yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them. Brutus will stir up a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the name of all the gods at once, what meat doth this our Caesar feed that has made him so great? Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say, there once was a Brutus that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. Oh, how I have thought of this and of these times I shall recount hereafter. But for this present I would not, so with love I might entreat you be any further moved. What you have said I will consider, and what you have to say I will with patience hear, and find time will meet to hear and answer upon such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions that these times are like to lay upon us.
I'm glad that my weak words have struck but this much show of fire from Brutus.
The games are done. Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell us what hath preceded worthy note today.
I will do so, but look you, Cassius, the angry spot doth glow upon Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chidden train. Calpurnius' cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and fiery eyes that we have seen him in the Capitol, being crossed in conference by some senators.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonius,
Caesar,
let me have men about me that are fat. Sleek-headed men in such a sleep o' nights. Yond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter. But I fear him not. Yet, If my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He's a great observer. He looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. Hears no music, and seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirits to be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I'd rather tell you what is to be feared, Antonius, than what I fear. For always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this here is death, and tell me what thou truly thinkst of him.
You pulled me by the cloak. Will you speak with me?
Aye, Casca, tell us what hath chanced that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, you were with him, were you not?
Oh, I should not then ask Casca what hath chanced.
Why, there was a crown offered him. And being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand, thus.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, there he was, and he put it by thrice. Every putting by gentler than other, and at every putting by, mine honest neighbors shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it. Gentle, Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet it was not a crown neither. It was one of these coronets. And being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. Then he offered it to him again. He put it by again, but to my thinking, he would fain have had it. And then he offered it the third time. And as I told you, he put it by the third time, and still as he put it by, the rabblement hooted and clapped their chapped hands together, and threw up their sweaty nightcaps, and uttered such a deal of stinking breath, because Caesar had refused the crown, that it had almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But soft, I pray you. What, did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace, foamed at the mouth, and was speechless.
'Tis very like he hath the falling sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not, but you and I and noble Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure that Caesar fell down. If the Tagrag people did not clap him and hiss him as they used to do the players of the theater, I am no true man.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Marry, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me up his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. And I had been a man of any occupation if I had taken him at his word. I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, alas, good soul, and they forgave him with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And then he came, thus sad, away?
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I'll tell you that, I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news too. Marolus and Flavius, for pulling scarves off of Caesar's images, are put to silence. There was, very well, there was more foolery yet, if I could remember it.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
Nay, I am promised forth.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive and your mind hold, and your dinner worth the eating.
Good, I will expect you.
Do so. Farewell, both.
What a blunt fellow this has grown to be. He was of quick mettle when he went to school.
So is he now in any bold or noble enterprise. Yet he puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men's stomach to digest his words with better appetite.
And so it is. For this time, I will leave you. Tomorrow, if it please you to speak with me, I will come home to you, or if you will, But come home to me, and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Until then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art honorable. Yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who so firm who cannot be seduced? I will tonight in several hands in his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings, all tending to the great opinion Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambitions will be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure.
Good evening, Caesar. Brought you Caesar home. Why are you breathless and why do you stare so?
Or do you not move when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Oh, Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with most dreadful storms. But never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there's a fierce civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Why, you saw anything more wonderful?
Common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I have not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol I met a lion, who blazed upon me and went surly by without annoying me. Upon a heap there were drawn 100 ghastly women, who swore they saw men, all in fire, walk up and down the streets. And yesterday, the bird of night, even at noonday, did sit in the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say, these are their reasons, they are natural. For I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men construe things after their own fashion, clean from the things that purpose themselves. Oh, come Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow.
He doth, for he did bid Antonio send word to you he would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman?
Casca by your voice.
Your ear is good, Cassius. What night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens menace so.
Those that knew the earth so full of faults. For my part, Casca, I have walked about the streets, submitting myself unto the darkness, and thus embraced, Casca, as you see, have barred my bosom to the thunderstone. And when the cross-blue lightning did seem to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself in the aim and very flash.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods by token send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, Casca, and that spark of life that should be in Roman you do want, or else you use not. You look pale and gaze to see the strange impotence of the heavens. But if you would consider for a moment the cause of all these events, why all these fires, why all these gliding ghosts, why birds and beasts from quality and kind change from their ordinance to monstrous quality, why, you shall find that heaven hath infused them with this wrath, to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now, could I name to thee, Casca, a man most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol? A man no more mightier than thyself or me, but grown in prodigious action.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not?
Let it be who it is, for Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors. But woe the while! Our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mothers' spirits. Our yoke and sufferance show us womanish.
Indeed. They say tomorrow the senators mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by land and sea in every place save here in Italy.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Nor stony towers, nor walls of beaten brass can be retentive to the strength of spirit. But life, being weary of these worldly bars, never lacks strength to dismiss itself. If I know this, know all the world besides. That part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. Those that with haste will make a great fire begin it with weak straw. What trash is Rome? What rubbish? And what awful when it serves as the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar?
You speak to Casca, and such a man, that is no fleering telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of these griefs, and I will put this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have already moved some certain of the noblest-minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous virtue. And I do know that I am stayed for in Pompey's porch tonight.
Stand close a while! Here comes one in haste!
'Tis Cinna. I do know him by his gait. Cinna, where hints you so?
To find you. Who's that? Telsimber?
No, 'tis Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Tell me, Cinna, where hints you so? Am I not stayed for?
I'm glad on't. Oh, what a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Tell me, Cinna, am I not stayed for?
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content, good Cinna. Here, takest thou this letter. Set it on the, look you lay it on the praetor's chair where Brutus may but find it. Throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon old Brutus's statue. This done, repair to Pompey's porch where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there?
All of Telsimber, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie and so bestow these favors as you bade me.
That done, repair to Pompey's theater. Come, Casca. You and I will yet ere day meet Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
He sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, will like richest alchemy change to virtue and worthiness.
Him and his worth, and our great need of him you have right well conceded. Let us go, for it is after midnight, and ere day we will wake him and be sure of her.
What? Lucius, ho! I cannot, by the progress of the stars, give guess how near to day. Lucius, I say! I would if were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say! What? Lucius!
Called you, my lord?
Give me a chamber in my study. When it is lighted, come and call me here.
I will, my lord.
It must be by his death. And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him. But for the general, he would be crowned. How might that change his nature? There's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, and then I grant that we put a sting in him, that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power, and to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affections have swayed more than his reasons. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, where's the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then, unto the ladder, turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, then, lest he may, prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus: that which he is augmented would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched as his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
Sir, the taper burneth in your closet. Searching for a flint, I found this paper thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lay there when I went to bed.
Oh. Go ye to bed again. It is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Look at the calendar. Bring me word.
I will, sir.
The exaltations whizzing in the air give so much light that I might read by them. Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc., speak, strike, redress? Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake. Such instigations have often been dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc., thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What, Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise. If the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hands of Brutus.
Sir, March is wasted 14 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate. Someone knocks. Since Cassius did first wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of the dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or hideous dream. The genius and mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Sir, is your brother Cassius at the door who would not desire to see you?
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, sir. Their hats are plucked about their ears, and half their faces buried in their clothes, which by no means I may discover them as any mark of favor.
Let him enter. They are the faction. O conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night when evils are most free? Oh, but then by day, where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none, conspiracy. Show it in smiles and affability, for if thou path thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention.
I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them. And no man here but honors you. And every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself, which every noble Roman bears. This is Trebonius.
Oh, he is welcome hither.
This Decius Brutus.
He is welcome too.
This Casca, Cinnavis, and this Metellus Sim.
They are all welcome. What watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night?
Shall I entreat a word?
Here lies the east. Doth not the day break here?
No.
Oh, pardon, sir, it doth, and yon grey lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day.
You shall confess you are both mistaken. Here, as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a great way growing on the south, weighing the youthful season of the year. Some 2 months hence, up higher towards the north, he first presents his fire, and the high east stands as the capital directly here.
Give me your hands, all over, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. If not, the faces of men, the sufferance of our souls, the times of use, if these be motives weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed. So let high-sided tyranny rage on, till each man drop by lottery. But if these be, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards and steal with valor the melting spirits of women, then, countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans who have spoke the word and will not falter? And what other oath than honesty to honesty engaged that shall be, or we will fall for it? Swear priests, cowards, men cotulous, old feeble carrions, and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs. Unto bad causes swear, such creatures as men doubt. But do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits, to say that, or our cause, or our performance did need an oath, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy, if he doth break even the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with our cause.
No, by no means.
Oh, let us have him. For his silver hairs will purpose us a good at and by men's voices to commend our deeds. It shall be said that his judgment ruled our hands. Our youths and wildnesses shall know what appear, but all be buried in his gravity.
Oh, name him not. Let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin.
Then leave Cicero out.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar?
Decius well urged. I think it is not meet that Mark Antony, so beloved of Caesar, should outlive him. We shall find him to be a shrewd contriver. And you know his resources, if he were to improve them, may stretch as far to annoy us all. So to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius. To cut off the head and then hack the limbs like wrath and death and envy afterwards? For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let us be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. We all stand against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, that we might come by Caesar's spirit and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for the hounds. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up our servants to an act of rage and after seem to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary, and not envious, which, so appearing to the common eye, we shall be called perjurers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet I have a mind that fears him much, for in his engrafted love of Caesar...
Cassius, think not of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar. And that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and to much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at us hereafter.
Peace, count the clock.
The clock hath stricken 3.
'Tis time to part.
Well, yet it is unknown whether Caesar will stir forth today or no, for he is superstitious grown of late.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can oversway him. For he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour. Is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
Caius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him.
Now, good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him but hither. I'll fashion him.
The morning comes upon us. We will leave you, Brutus. And friends, disperse yourselves, but remember what you have said here tonight, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so, good morrow to you, everyone. What, Lucius? Fast asleep? It is no matter. Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, nor no fantasies which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleep so sound.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health to commit your weak condition to the raw, cold morning.
Nor for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humor which sometime hath its hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. And could it work so much upon your shape as it hath prevailed upon your condition, I should not know you. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health. That is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so do I. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What, is Brutus sick? And will he steal from his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? Oh, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees, I charm you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me, yourself, your half, why you are heavy. And what men have tonight had resort to you, for here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I within the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife. As dear to me as the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then should I know this secret? Grant I am a woman, but withal a woman Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets?
Oh, ye gods, render me worthy of this noble wife. Hark, hark, one knocks. Portia, go in a while. By and by thy bosom shall partake of the secrets of my heart. All of my engagements I will construe to thee, all the charactery of my sad brows. Leave me with haste. Lucius, who's that knocks?
Here is a sick man that would speak with you.
Caius Ligarius, that Metellus spake of. Boy, stand aside. Caius Ligarius, how?
vouchsafe a good morrow from a feeble tongue.
Oh, what a time you have chose out, brave Caius, to wear a kerchief. Would you? We're not sick?
I am not sick, if Brutus have in hand any exploit worthy of the name of honor.
Such an exploit have I in hand, if thou hast a healthful ear to hear of it.
By all the gods that Romans bow before, I here discard my sickness. Soul of Rome, brave son derived from honorable loins, thou like an exorcist hath conjured up my mortified spirit. Now bid me run, and I will strive for things impossible. Yea, get the better of them. What's to do?
A piece of work that'll make sick men whole.
But are not some whole that we must make sick?
That must we also. What it is, my Caius, I shall unfold to thee as we are going to whom it must be done.
Set on your foot, and with a heart new fired, I follow you. To do I know not what, but it sufficeth that Bruce leads me on.
Follow me, then.
Nor heaven, nor earth has been in peace tonight. Thrice in her sleep hath Calpurnia cried out, "Help, ho! They murder Caesar." Who's within?
My lord.
Go bid the priests do present sacrifice, and bring me their opinions of success.
Aye, my lord. What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall go forth. The things that threaten me ne'er looked but on my back. When they see the face of Caesar, they are banished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen. Beyond the most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fought about the clouds, in ranks and squadrons and right forms of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air, horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts have shrieked and squealed about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
Whose end is purposed by the mighty gods. Yet, Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general, as they are to Caesar.
When beggars die, no comets are seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Of all the wonders I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. What say the augurs?
They shall not have you stir forth today, plucking the entrails of not bring forth who not find a heart for the beast.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart. If he should stay at home today for fear, no, Caesar will not. Danger knows full well that I am more dangerous than he. We are two lions, littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible. And Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in house, and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say, you are not well today. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. Here is Decius Brutus. He will tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate house.
And do I come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators, to tell them that I will not come. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far as to be afeard to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not go. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for thy private satisfaction, because I love you, I will tell you. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. Last night she had dreamt that I, as a statue with 100 spouts, did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans did come smiling and did bathe their hands in it, and these does she apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent. And on her knee hath begged I stay at home today.
This dream is all a misinterpreting. It was a vision, fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathe, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
In this way have you well expounded it.
I have, when you have heard what I can say. And note now, the Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to your proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. Fetch me my robe, for I will go. And here is Publius, come to fetch me.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Good morrow, Publius. What, Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Brutus. Good morrow, Casca. Caius Ligarius. Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same argue which hath made Julius. What is o'clock?
Caesar, 'tis strucken 8.
I thank you all for your pains and courtesy. And look, where Mark Antony, who revels long a night, is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
So too, most noble Caesar.
Go bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now, Metellus. Now, Cinna. What, Trebonius? I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember, today you call on me. Be near me, that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that his best friends shall wish I had been further.
Good friends, let us go in and taste some wine together. And we, like friends, will straightway go together.
Oh, that every like is not the same. Oh, Caesar, the heart of Brutus yearns to think upon.
Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca. Have an eye to Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. Thou beest not immortal. Look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. May the mighty gods defend them. Thy lover, Artemidorus. Here shall I stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor I shall give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. Oh, if thou read this, Caesar, thou mightst live. If not, may the mighty gods defend thee.
Run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay?
To know my errand, madam.
I would have thee there and here again, ere I could tell you what thou shouldst do there. O Constancy, be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard it is for women to keep counsel. Art thou here yet?
Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else, and so return to you. And nothing else?
Yes! Bring me word, boy. if thy lord look well, for he went sickly forth. And take good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy, what noise is that?
I hear none, madam.
I prithee listen well. I heard a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital.
Sooth, madam, I hear none.
Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been?
At mine own house, good lady.
What is 'clock?
About the 9th hour, lady.
Is Caesar yet gone to the capital?
Madam, not yet. I go take my stand to see him pass on to the capital.
Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not?
'Tis true, madam. If it shall be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself.
Why, knowest thou any harms intended towards him?
None that I know of, much that I fear may change. Good morrow to you. The street here is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at the heels of senators, of praetors, of common suitors, shall crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll give me to a place more void and speak to great Caesar as he comes along.
I must go in. Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is. O Brutus, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure the boy heard me. Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say I am merry. Come to me again and bring me word what he doth say to thee.
The Ides of March are come.
I, Caesar, but not gone.
Hail, Caesar. Read this schedule.
Trebonius doth desire you to all read at your best leisure this his humble suit.
Caesar, read mine first. For mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer.
What touches us ourselves shall be last served.
Delay not, read it instantly.
What is the fellow mad?
Sirrah, give place.
What? Urge you your petitions here in the street? Go to the capital.
I wish you enterprise may fly today.
What enterprise, Pompilius?
Fail you well.
What said Popilius Lena?
We wish today that our enterprise may thrive. I fear we are discovered.
Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca. Stand fast, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant. Popilius Lena speaks not of our purposes, for look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change.
Trebonius knows his time. Look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Where's Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar.
He is addressed. Press near and second him.
Casca, you were the first to raise your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber, that begs of you.
I must prevent these, Cimber. These coachings and these lowly curtsies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn per ordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood as could be thawed with the same true quality as that which melteth fools. I mean, sweet words, low, crooked curtsies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished, and if thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is Is there no voice more worthy than my own, to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear, for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, Caesar, but not in flattery, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar, Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved, if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. Skies are painted with innumerate sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. So in the world, 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet, in the number I do know but one, in all doth hold his place, unassailable of rank and unshaken of motion. And that I am he. Let me a little show it even in this, that I was constant, Cimber should be banished, and did remain constant to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar.
Hence wilt thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Speak hands for me!
And to Brutus. Then fall Caesar.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny instead. Run hence, proclaim, cry about the streets.
Some to the common pulpits and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement.
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius too.
Where's Publius?
Here, quite confounded with this mutiny.
Stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar's.
Talk not of standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person, nor to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius.
And leave us, Publius, lest the people rushing on should do your age some mischief.
Do so, and let no man abide this deed but we, the doers.
Where's Mark Antony?
Fled to his house amazed, men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as it were doomsday.
Mates, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Indeed. Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that, and then death is a benefit. So are we, Caesar's friends, to have abridged his time of fearing death? Stoop. Romans, stoop. Let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows, and let us besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, waving our red weapons o'er our heads, and let's all cry peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop then, and wash. How many times shall this our lofty scene be acted over, in states unborn and accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport? Now on Pompey's basis lies along no worthier than the dust.
So oft as that shall be, so often shall the none of us be called, the men that gave their country liberty.
What, shall we forth?
Yes, every man. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the boldest and best hearts of Rome.
But soft, who comes? A servant of Antony's.
Thus Brutus did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say I love Brutus and honor him. Say I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him and be resolved, how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead, so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state, with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
Thy master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him less. So tell him, please him come unto this place. He shall be satisfied, and by mine honor depart untouched.
I'll fetch him presently.
I know that we shall have him well for friend.
I wish we may, but yet I have a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose.
But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
Oh, mighty Caesar! Doth thou lie so low? Are all the conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech ye, now whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. Live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place will please me so as here, by Caesar and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age.
Oh, Antony, beg not your death of us. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel as by our hands, and this the present act you see we do, yet see you but our hands, and this the bleeding business they have done. Our hearts you see not. They are pitiful. And pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fire drives out fire, so pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you, our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony. Our arms and strength of malice, and our hearts of brother's temper to receive you in with all kind love, good thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude, beside themselves with fear, then we will deliver you the cause. Why, I that did love Caesar when I struck him have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus, do shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius, I do take your hand. Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now, Metellus, yours. Now, Cinna. And my valiant Casca, yours. Though last, not least in love, yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen, all, alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground. One of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar. Oh, 'tis true. If then thy spirit would look upon us now, would it not grieve thee dearer than thy death, to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, most noble, in the presence of thy corpse? Had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Pardon me, Julius. Here wast thou bade, brave heart. Here didst thou fall, and here thy traitors stand, signed in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy lead. O world, thou wast the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. How like a deer, stricken by many princes, doth thou here lie.
Mark Antony.
Pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this, then in a friend it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so. But what compact mean you to have with us? Shall you be pricked in number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Therefore I did shake with you all, but was swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends am I with you all, and love you all, upon this hope that you will give me reason why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else this were a savage spectacle! Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you, Antony, the son of Caesar, you shall be satisfied.
That's all I seek. And then moreover, suitor, that I may bear his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, may I have a word with you? You know not what you do. Do not let Mark Antony speak at his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will myself unto the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. When Antony will speak, I will protest. He speaks by leave and by our permission, and we are contended that Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage us more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good that you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission, lest you shall not have any hand at all about his funeral. And you shall speak in the same pulpit where I am going, after my speech has ended.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Pardon me, O thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the noblest Roman that ever lived in this tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed thy costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which, like dumb mouths, do beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge with a tay by his side, shall in these confines and a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this deed shall smell above the earth of carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did write for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me say to you by words of mouth. Oh, Caesar!
Pardon, thy heart is big. Get thee pardon and weep. Passion I see is catching, for mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand and I begin to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 weeks of Rome.
Post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie hence and tell him so. Yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this body to the marketplace, where I shall in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which thou shalt discourse to young Octavius the state of things. Lend me your hand.
And give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into the other street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let him stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him. And public reason shall be rendered of Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus speak.
I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons, when severally we hear them rendered.
The noble Brutus is ascended. Silence.
Be patient till the last. Romans, countrymen, lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you might hear. Honor me in my wisdom, and have honor for my wisdom that you might believe. Censure me in your valor, and awake your senses that you might be the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love of Caesar was no less than his. If that friend then demand why I rose up against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves than Caesar were dead and live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice in him. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who here is so base that would be a bondman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who here is so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who here is so vile that would not love their country? If any, speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply.
Not one.
Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory is not extenuated for which he was worthy, nor his offenses enforced for which he suffered death. Here comes his body, borne by Mark Antony, who, although he had no hand in Caesar's death, shall receive the benefit of his dying. A place in the Commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I shall have the same dagger for myself, when it should please my country to need my death.
Let Brutus with triumph home unto his house.
Aye. Give him a statue with his ancestors.
Aye. Let him be Caesar.
Aye. Caesar's better part shall be crowned in Brutus.
Aye. We'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamor.
Aye.
My countrymen!
Peace. Silence. Brutus speaks.
Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. With this, I entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke.
Stay ho, and let us hear Mark Antony.
Let him go up into the public chair.
For Brutus' sake am I beholding to you.
What does he say, Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake he finds himself beholding to us all.
Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here.
Aye.
This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Peace. Let us hear what Antony can say.
You gentle Romans. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, were a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransom did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor hath cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see the on the loop recall. I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled the brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar's had great wrong.
Has he, masters? I fear there will a worse come in his place.
Mark to his words, he would not take the crown. Therefore, 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dare abide it.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now, mark him, he begins again to speak.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now there he lies, with none so poor to do him reverence. Oh, masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here is a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear its testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. And they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds, dip their napkins in his sacred blood, and dying mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as rich a legacy unto their issue.
Well, hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
Have patience, gentle friends. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, bearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you, it will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs. For if it should, oh, what would come of it?
Read the will. Well, here, Antony, you shall read us the will. Caesar's will.
Patience, friends. I fear I've o'ershot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men.
They were villains, murderers. The will. Read the will.
You will compel me then to read the will. Then let me show you him that made the will. Come, make a ring about the corpse of Caesar. Shall I descend? Will you give me leave?
Stand from the hearse. Stand from the body.
Room for Antony, most noble Antony.
Nay, press not upon me so. Stand far off. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. It was on a summer's evening in his tent, the day he overcame the Nervii. Look, through this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And mark you how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out of doors to be resolved, if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. For this was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw him stabbed, ingratitude more strong than traitor's arms quite vanquished him, and burst his mighty heart. And what a fall there was, my countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. What, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. What, weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Here he is, marred as you see, with traitors.
Oh, piteous spectacle. Oh, noble Caesar.
Oh, woeful day.
Oh, traitors, villains. Oh, bloody sight. We will be revenged.
Stay, countrymen! Countrymen, I speak not to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage. They that have done this deed are honorable, and will no doubt with reason answer you. They are wise and honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not that made them do it. I am no orator as Brutus is. I come not to steal away your hearts. For as you know me all, a plain, blunt man that love my friend, and that they know full well they gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit, nor word, nor worth, action nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only show you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. For were I Brutus and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony, would ruffle up your spirits, put a tongue in every wound of Caesar, that should stir the stones of Rome to rise in mutiny.
Burn the house of Brutus.
Come then, away, seek the conspirators.
Yet stay, countrymen. Alas, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar deserved your loves? Alas, you know not, I must tell you. You have forgot the will I told you of.
The will?
Here under Caesar's seal. To every several man he gives, to every Roman citizen, 75 drachmas,
Most noble Caesar, will avenge his death.
Moreover, he hath left you all his private walks and new planted orchards on this side Tiber. He hath left them you and your heirs forever, to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never, never. Come, away, away. We'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands fire the traitors' houses.
Aye.
The body.
Go fetch fire.
Pluck down benches.
Down forms, windows, anything.
Now let it work. Mischief, thou art afoot. Take what course thou wilt. How now, fellow?
Sir, Octavius has already come to Rome.
Where is he?
He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
Belike, they had some notice of the people. How I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius. These many then shall die. Look, with a spot I damn them.
Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus?
I do consent.
Prick him down, Antony.
In the condition that Publius shall not live, who is your sister's son, Mark Antony.
I do consent. Look, his name is pricked. But Lepidus, go you to Caesar's house and fetch the will hither. Then we shall determine how to cut off some charge and legacies.
What shall I find you here?
Or here at the Capitol.
This is a slight unmeritable man, meet to be sent on errands. Is it fit, the threefold world divided, he should stand, one of the three to share it?
So you thought him, and took his voice who should be pricked to die at our black sentence and prescription.
Octavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we lay these honors on this man, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven, as we point the way. And having brought our treasure where we will, then take we down his load, like to the empty ass, to shake his ears and graze in the commons.
You may do your will, but he is a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse, Octavius. And for that I do appoint him a store of provender. Speak not of him but as property. But now, Octavius, listen, great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying power. We must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined. Our best friends made, our means stretched. And let us presently go sit in council, where open perils may be best disclosed and covert matters surest answered.
Let us do so. For we are at the stake, bait about with many enemies that I fear, and their hearts have millions of mischiefs.
Stand! Ho!
Give word! Ho and stand.
Hark now, Lucilius. Is Cassius near?
He is at hand, and Pindarus has come to do you salutations from his master.
He greets me well. Your master, Pindarus, either by his own change or by some ill officers, have given me worthy cause to wish things done undone. But if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied.
I do not doubt that my noble master will appear, that he is full of regard and honor.
He is not doubted. Hark, Lucilius, a word. How he received you, let me be resolved.
With courtesy and with respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, nor such free and friendly conference as he hath used of old.
Thou hast described a hot friend cooling. Ever note, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith, but hollow men, like horses hot at hand, make gallant show and promise of their mettle. But when they should endure the bloody spur, they fall to their crests, and like deceitful jades sink in the trial. Comes his army on?
They mean this knight in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius.
Hark, he has arrived. March gently on to meet him.
Stand ho!
Stand ho. Speak the word along.
Stand! Stand! Stand!
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? If not so, how should I wrong a brother?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do
Cassius, be content. Speak your grief softly. I do know you well. Before the eyes of both our armies here, who would perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Bid them move away. Then, in my tent, enlarge your griefs, and I will give you audience.
Pandarus, bid our commanders lead their charges off a little from this ground.
Lucilius, do you the like, and let no man come into our tent till we have done our conference. Let Lucius and Titinius guard our door.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardians, wherein my letters praying on his behalf, because I knew the man was slighted off.
You wronged yourself to right in such a case.
In a time such as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much engaged to have an itching palm, to sell and march your offices for gold to undeservers.
I, an itching palm? You know you are Brutus that speaks this, or else this speech were your last.
Oh, the name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Oh, ye gods, must I endure all this?
All this, I more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go show your slaves how caloric you are. Make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Shall I stand and crouch under the weight of your testy humor? By the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you. For from this day forth, I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter when you are waspish.
Has it come to this?
Did you say you were a better soldier? Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well, for I am glad to learn of noble men.
Do not presume too much upon my love, Brutus. I shall do that I shall be sorry for.
Oh, you have done that you shall be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. For I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, but you denied me. For I can raise no money by vile means. I'd rather coin my heart, drop my blood for drachmas, than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was this done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such wrathful counters from his friends? Oh, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts, dash him to pieces.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friend would never see such faults.
A flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony! Come, young Octavius! Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for he is hated by the ones he loves, braved by his brother. Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes.
Be angry when you will. it shall have some scope. Do what you will, this honor shall be humor. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who, much enforced, shows a hasty spark and straight his colt again.
Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
Oh, Brutus.
What's the matter?
Have you not love enough to bear with me when my rash humor, which my mother gave me, makes me forgetful?
Yes, Cassius. And from henceforth, when you are over-earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chid you and leave you so.
Look, you can see the generals! There are some friends between them! Hands off me! Leave me alone!
You shall not come to them.
Nothing but you stay me!
Who's there? What's the matter?
For shame, you generals! What does he mean? Love and be friends as true as men should be. For I've seen more years, I'm sure, than you.
How vilely doth this cynic rhyme.
Get thee hence, Sirrah. The saucy fellow, hence.
Bear with him, Brutus. 'Tis his fashion.
I'll know his humor when he knows his time. What'll the wars do with these jigging fools? Companion, hence.
Away, away. Be gone.
Lucius, a bowl of wine.
I did not think you could be so angry.
Oh, Cassius, I am sick of many griefs.
Of your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evils.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead.
Huh? Portia?
She is dead.
How skipped I killing when I crossed you so? Oh, insupportable and touching lust! Upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence, and grief that young Octavius and Mark Antony have made themselves so strong. For with her death that tidings came. With this, she fell distract, and her attendants absent swallowed fire.
And died so?
Even so.
Oh, ye immortal gods!
Speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine. In this I bury all unkindness, Cassius.
My heart is thirsty for that noble pleasure. I cannot drink too much of my Brutus's love.
The deep of night has crept upon our talk, and nature must obey necessity, which we will niggard with a little rest. Is there no more to say?
No more. Good night, Brutus. Tomorrow we will rise in hints.
Lucius, my gown. Noble Cassius, good night and good repose.
Honest brother, it was an ill beginning of the night. Never comes such division betwixt our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, good brother. Give me the gown. Where is thy instrument?
Here in the tent.
What? Thou speaks so drowsily? Poor knave, I blame thee not. Call Claudius and some other of my men. I'll have them sleep on cushions in my tent.
Claudius, Varro?
Calls, my lord?
Aye. Good sirs, I prithee, lay down in my tent, and maybe I shall raise you by and by on business to my brother Cassius.
So please you, we will stand and watch your pleasure.
I will not have it so. Lie down, good sirs, and maybe I shall otherwise bethink me. Look, Lucius, here's the book I sought for so. I put it in the pocket of my gown.
I was sure your lordship did not give it to me.
Oh, bear with me, boy. I am much forgetful. Canst thou hold up thy heavy eyes a while and touch thy instrument a strain or two?
Aye, my lord. It please you.
It does, my boy. I trouble thee too much, but thou art willing.
It is my duty, sir.
Oh, I should not urge thy duty past thy might. I will not hold thee long. If I do live, I will be good to thee. this is a sleepy tune. Oh, murderous slumber, layest thou thy leaden mace upon my boy that plays thee music? Gentle knave, good night. I will not do thee so much harm as to wake thee. Now, if thou dost not, thou breakst thy instrument. I'll take it from thee. And, good boy, good night. Let me see. Is not the leaf turned down where I left reading? Here it is, I think. How ill this taper burns. Ha! Who comes here? Oh, I believe it is the weakness of mine eyes that doth shake this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil that makes my blood cold and hair to stare? Speak, what art thou?
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well then, shall I see thee at Philippi then?
Aye, at Philippi.
Why then, I shall see thee at Philippi then. Now I have taken heart thou vanishest. Oh, ill spirit, I would hold more talk with thee. Boy, Lucius, sirs, awake. Clarice, Claudius.
The strings, my lord, are false.
He thinks he is still at his instrument. Lucius, awake. Didst thou dream, Lucius, that thou so criedst out?
I did not know that I did Christ out.
Yes, that thou didst. Didst thou see anything?
Nothing, my lord.
Sleep again, Lucius. Sirrah Claudius, fellow thou, awake!
My lord.
Why did you so cry out, sirs, in your sleep?
Did my lord?
Aye, saw you anything?
No, my lord, I saw nothing. Nor I, my lord.
Go and commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers the times before, and we will follow.
Shall be done, my lord.
Now, Antony, you said the enemy would not come down, but heap the hills and upper regions, it proves not so. Their battles are at hand, they mean to warn us here in Philippi, answering before we do demand of them.
Tuck, I'm in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they do it. They should be content to visit other places, coming down with fearful bravery, thinking by this face to fasten in our thoughts that they have courage. But 'tis not so.
Prepare you, generals. The enemy comes on in gallant show. Their bloody times of battle is drawn out, and something is to be done immediately.
Octavius, lead your battle softly upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand, I keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this exercise?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
They stand and we have parley.
Stand fast, Titanius. We must out and talk.
Mark Antony, shall we give sign of battle?
No, Caesar, we will answer on their charge. Make forth. The generals would have some words.
Stir not until the signal.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
And your bad strokes, Brutus. You give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live, hail Caesar!"
Antony, the postures of your blows are yet unknown, but as for your words, they rob the high-blood bees and leave them honeyless.
Not stingless, too.
Oh, yes, and soundless, too. For you have stolen in their buzzing, Antony, and very wisely threat before you sting.
Villains! You did not so. When your daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar, you showed your teeth like apes, fawned like hounds, bowed like bondsmen, kissing Caesar's feet, whilst damned Castor like a cur, behind struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers.
Flatterers? Brutus, you only have yourself to thank, for that tongue had not offended so if Cassius might have ruled.
Come, the cause! If arguing makes us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw my sword against conspirators. When goes it up again? Never. Till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged. Or until another Caesar hath added slaughter to the sword of traitors.
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' hands unless thou bringst them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus' sword.
Oh, if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable.
A peevish schoolboy, worthless of such honor, joined with a masker and reveler.
Old Cassius still.
Come, Antony. Away. Defiance, you traitors, hurl in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, win your stomachs.
The gods today stand friendly, that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But, since the events of men still rest uncertain, let's reason with the worst of what may befall. If we do lose this battle, are you then contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, Cassius, no. Think not, thou noble Roman, that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind. But this same day must end the work the Ides of March begun. And whether we shall see each other again, I know not. For our everlasting farewell take. Forever and forever farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, why, we shall smile. If not, why then, this parting was well made.
Forever and forever farewell, Brutus. If we shall see each other again, 'tis true, we will smile indeed. If not, this parting was well made.
Why then, lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere it come. But it sufficeth that the day will end, and then the end is known. Come, ho, away!
Lie further off, my lord. Lie further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Lie therefore, noble Cassius. Lie far off.
This hill is far enough. Tell me, Titinius, are those my tents where I perceive the fire?
They are, my lord.
Titinius, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse and hide thy spurs in him, until he hath taken you up to yon troops, and back again, that I may rest assured, whether yon troops are enemy or friend.
I will be here again, even with a thought.
Pindarus, get you up on that hill and tell me what thou knowest of the field. Today I breathed my first. Time has come round. And where I did begin, there shall I end. My life has run his compass. Sirrah, what news?
Oh, my lord!
What news?
Titinius is enclosed round about with horsemen that make him on a spur. Yet he spurs on. Now, Titinius. Now he lights. Oh, he's tamed. And hark, they shout for joy.
Come down, behold no more! Oh, coward that I am, to live so long as to see my best friend taken before my face. Come hither, Sirrah. In Parthia, I did find thee, and swore to thee, saving of thy life, that whatsoever I should bid thee do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come now, and keep thine oath. Now, be a free man, and with this good blade that did run through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Now, stand not to answer. Here, takest thou the hilts. And when mine eyes are closed, as they are now, guide thou the blade.
Indeed, my will is done. First I have done my will. Oh, Cassius. Far from this country, Pindarus shall run, where never Roman shall take note of him.
It is but change, Titinius. For Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus
not that he? No, this was he, Masala. But Cassius is no more. O setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost sink tonight. So, in his red blood, Cassius's day is set. The sun of Rome is set. Our day is gone. Clouds, dews, and dangers come. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed.
Mistrust of good success hath done this deed.
O hateful error, melancholy's child, why dost thou show to the apt thoughts of men the things that are not? O error soon conceived, thou never comest to a happy birth, but killest the mother that engendered thee.
What Pandarus? Where art thou, Pandarus?
Seek him, Titinius, whilst I go to meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ears. I may say thrusting, as piercing, stealing, darts, and venom shall be as welcome to the ears of Brutus as tidings of this sight. Hie you, Masala, and I will seek for Pandarus all the while. Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends, and did they not put on my brow this wreath of victory, and bid me give it thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. But hold thee, and take this garland on thy brow. Brutus bid me give it thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius' sword, and find Titinius' heart.
Where? Masala, where does his body lie?
Lo yonder. Titinius mourning it.
Titinius' face is upward.
He is slain.
Oh, Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad, turns our swords in our own proper entrails.
Brave Titanius, look whether he had not crowned dead Cassius.
Are yet 2 Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans, fare thee well. It is impossible that Rome should ever breed thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. I shall find time. Come, and to Thaso send his body. His funeral shall not be in our camp, lest it discomfort us. And Lucilius, come. And come, young Cato, let us to the field. Labio and Flavius, set our battles on. 'Tis 3 o'clock, and Romans, yet ere night, we shall try fortune in a second fight. Countrymen! Oh yes! Hold up your heads!
Who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the land. I am the son of Marcus Cato Ho, a foreign tyrant and a friend of my country. I am the son of Marcus Cato Ho.
And I am Brutus, Marcus Brutus, thy Brutus, my countrymen know me for Brutus. Young noble Cato, art thou down? Why now thou diest as bravely as Titinius, and mayst be honored being Cato's son. Yield, or thou diest! Only I yield to die. There is so much that thou wilt kill me straight. Kill Brutus and be honored with his death.
We must not, a noble prisoner.
Room, ho,
Tell Antony Brutus is tame!
I'll tell the news. Here comes the general. Brutus is tame. Brutus is tame, my lord.
Where is he?
Safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy will take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him, alive or dead, he'll be found like himself, like Brutus.
This is not Brutus' friend, but I assure you, a prize no less than worth. Give this man all kindness, keep him safe. I would rather have such men as my friends than enemies. Then go see whether Brutus be alive or dead, and bring us word unto Octavius' tent how things have chanced.
Come, poor, remain friends. Rest on this rock.
Titilius showed his torchlight, but my lord came not back. He is ta'en or slain.
Sit thee down, Clytus. Slaying is a word, it is a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Clytus.
What? I, my lord? No, not for the world.
Peace then, no words.
I'll rather kill myself.
Hark thee, Dardanius.
Shall I do such a deed? Oh, Dardanius. Oh, Clytus.
What ill-request did Brutus make of thee?
To kill him, Clytus. Look, he meditates. Now is that noble vessel full of grief that it runs over even at his eyes.
Come hither, good Volumnius, list a word.
What says, my lord?
Why this, Volumnius. The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me several times by night. At Sardis once, and this last night here in Philippi fields. I know, my hour is come.
Not so, my lord.
Aye, that it is, Volumnius. Thou seest the world, Volumnius, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. It is far more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Prithee, Volumnius, hold thou my sword hilts whilst I do run upon it.
Fly, my lord, fly. There's no tarrying left here.
Farewell to you, and you, Volumnius. Strato, thou hast been all this while asleep. Fare thee well too, Strato. Countrymen, it doth please my heart that yet in all my life I found no man but he that was true to me. I shall have more glory this losing day than Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history.
Fly, my
Night
lord.
hangs upon my eyes. My bones would rest, that have but labored to attain this hour.
Fly, my lord, fly.
Get thee hence, I will follow. Strato, stay thou by thy lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honor in it. Strato, hold down my sword and turn away thy face while I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Strato?
Give me your hand first. Fare thee well, my lord.
Farewell, Strato. Caesar. Now, be still. I killed not thee with half as good a will.
What man is this?
My master's man. Shadow, where is thy master? Free from the bondage you were in, Messala. The conquerors could but make a fire of him, for Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death.
So Brutus shall be found. I thank thee, Brutus. Thou hast proved Lucilius saying true.
All the men that serve Brutus, I will entertain them. Good fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me?
If Masala prefer me to you.
Do so, good Masala.
How died my master, Fredo?
I held the sword and he did run on it.
Octavius then taking to follow thee, that did the latest service to my master.
This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did what they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in general honest thought and common good, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that all of nature might stand up and say, "This was a man!"
According to his virtue, let us use him, with all rights and respects of burial. Within my tent tonight his bones shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call to the field, and let's away, part the glories of this happy day.